we are so much more powerful than we all believe.
Yeah.
And the game changer will be when you fully take on that you indeed are the creator of your own experience, meaning you need to take the first step.
Hello and welcome to Akashic Records Unlocked, a summit to spread awareness and share insights about healing in the Akashic Records, to bring a little bit more happiness, abundance, and a little bit of magic into our lives. Today we're so excited and happy to have a very special guest, Shivany Gonell, who will be sharing with us about her work in the Akashic Records. Shivany is known for finding the gold in your business and has helped hundreds of clients find their magic key to tap into the flow of money so it becomes predictable, reliable, and fun. She is a highly sought after women's empowerment coach, intuitive business mystic, master energy healer, psychic, international speaker, co-author of the Book of Inspiration for Women by Women, and has been featured on Self-Discovery Radio and New Human Living and on the Kat Canavos TV show. She's an expert on personal and spiritual transformation and helps women entrepreneurs all over the world live their soul's calling in business and life, using the Akashic Records as a grounded tool in order to get information on who you are at a soul level. Welcome, Shivany.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Great. We're so blessed and happy that you're here sharing with us about the Akashic Records. So first off, can you tell us what are the Akashic Records?
Sure. So the Akashic is basically an energetic database where who you are at soul level and also everything you've ever done in your lifetimes is recorded. And in the Bible, for example, it's also called the Book of Life. And every person, because every one of us has a soul, has their own specific Akashic record.
Wonderful. And can you tell us a little bit about your journey to finding the Akashic Records and eventually becoming a reader and teacher yourself?
Yeah, sure. Look, gosh, how far back do I need to go?
I just love hearing these stories because so many of us are similar.
So the initial, look, I was born, I think like most of us, differently. You know, I was born a unicorn, basically, to German parents. My father was an atheist. So that didn't go down. You know, I was basically born hearing, seeing, feeling, and shut it down. But still, when I was 14, I very much wanted to know, who am I? Why am I here? Because what was modeled to me didn't make sense. Mm-hmm. And so I went on a journey, and probably 8 years ago, I found the Akashic Records. So when I say I went on a journey, I did like 300 breathwork sessions. I trained to be a rebirther. I trained to be a yoga teacher and therapist and, you know, energy healer. So it was, I basically learned how to clear myself and really find who I am. And then 8 years ago, I think I saw an ad on Facebook, basically. As you do.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But because of all the work I've done within myself, I can now, like, I know if I'm prompted by my soul to take action or to even pay attention. So I remember that this ad literally lit up for me, yeah, because we can see 100 ads. And I went like, ooh. And then I clicked on it, and then it went on to a webinar. And I just really felt compelled to sign up and learn more about it. Yeah. And that's how it started.
I love that. You know, I think that there are so many of us that share a similar story, that we're born into maybe a family situation where we, you know, fit a little bit differently. And that causes us to become seekers, you know, looking for something and it causes us to take a step on this path of self-discovery and, trying to find wisdom and enlightenment and things like that. And so that's a really common type of story. I'm sure many of our listeners here have something similar that have brought them here to the Akashic Records. So thank you so much for sharing that. I'm sure a lot of people have a similar story.
Yeah, because I think it's in the contrast, right?
Yeah.
That we take notice and go, hey, really?
Yeah. What does this mean? Let me find out. I'm going to go seek it and hunt it down. So that's wonderful. And so our listeners also have come and are curious to find out more about the Akashic Records. And so you being a reader and a teacher, can you tell us a little bit more about your work that you do in the Akashic Records?
Sure. Yeah, look, I learned a specific system with a specific teacher. And what I realized, if I give you yoga terms, because I'm also have been teaching yoga for 30 years, so the yoga postures are always the same, right? But how you put it together becomes different yoga lineages. Yes, you have Iyengar and Ashtanga and Hatha, but ultimately the poses are always the same. And that's what I noticed with the Akashic. Yeah, the Akashic record is always the same, but how you are being trained, access, and how you work with it can differ vastly. Mm-hmm. So I'm with a system that was channeled through, so there's not one the same on the planet. And I usually start people off with what I call the soul success blueprint. Mm-hmm. And you do this, like in my system, you do it once a lifetime, because I think a lot of people still think that the Akashic, it's just a psychic reading, but it's so much more. Right. Yeah. So in my first reading, we look at the soul profile. And I find that very exciting, because once you know your divine gifts, once you know your life lesson, your soul specialization, your soul group of origination, you will have a really good idea who you are, what you're good at. Mm-hmm. And we're also looking, of course, at the shadow sides as well, because we are here in duality. Mm-hmm. So that's the soul profile. But then we are also, the reason you do this session once a lifetime is that we go in and deeply, deeply clear what's in the way for you to actually live your purpose. So then we're going into all the restrictions, the blocks. And then I'm also looking with people, okay, if you have, which is ultimately karma, right? That's not resolved. Mm-hmm. And karma ultimately is just action consequences. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no judgment here. Yeah. But if you've created karma, it doesn't leave you just because you're moving from one lifetime to the next. So although I can tell people, hey, 10 lifetimes ago, this happened, this is the decision you made, I ultimately don't care that much about it, because I'm looking at, okay, so how does that affect you today? Right. Because it will. And even if people do a lot of healing and clearing, the Akashic is really, you can't go deeper or higher. Yeah. And quite often, say, if you've created a vow of poverty or a vow of suffering, or you have a negative spirit guide that you pulled in because you had a hard time at childhood, you don't know about that consciously. Yeah, so we're making the unconscious conscious, mm-hmm. and then we're also clearing it. And I've seen miracles happen, because in this very first session, we literally bring the soul back into wholeness, back mm-hmm. into alignment. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people don't realize the soul can get injured. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And then, of course, after that, you have a different vantage point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the clearing goes for 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. But things that are hard will become easier. Yeah, like you get more of your gifts through. It's actually a very amazing process.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have to still take new physical action.
Yeah.
But I'll give you an example. I mean, I was blown away because really I'm not doing it. You know, I'm just the vessel.
Yeah.
Recently, I worked with somebody. She had a reading, full reading, and I had no idea that was happening for her. So she told me that she could never, like she guessed reading a word. Her brain basically saw the first letter of the alphabet and the last one. And she literally had to fill in the words. So you can imagine, this constant guessing, hard, yeah?
Yeah.
And she tried and worked with doctors, and anyway, she just decided, well, that's my life. And as soon as she finished the clearing, already while she was clearing, for the first time ever, she could read a whole word. This is a woman in her 40s.
Wow.
And she just, sent me, and she was, oh my God, guess what just happened? I'm going, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah.
When you hear something like that, yeah, it's really shifting. It's real work that we're doing. It's not just a lot of, woo-woo good feelings. It's real active work that we can be doing in the Akashic Records. And I think that is just proof right there. Like, what an amazing story. And it literally changed this woman's life that she was doing this.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful.
Yeah. And then, that's one reading. Like when I work with clients more long term, then we have what we call the manifesting blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
That looks at how are you wired to manifest at soul level. Mm-hmm. And especially for those of you who are working with the law of attraction and you think, why is it not working for me? Right? Or it's hit and miss. For example, at soul level, instead of being goal-orientated, you could be process-orientated. Mm-hmm. While our society is basically more goal-orientated, mm-hmm. and people think there's something wrong with them. Yeah, mm-hmm. when you're process-orientated, yes, you still have a goal, but the journey of becoming is much more important to you than just a goal. Mm-hmm. And so that also changes, say, if you have a business, how you market, how you approach your business. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so the manifesting blueprint is basically, again, your roadmap, how you specifically at soul level are wired to create the new.
That's beautiful. Yes.
Yeah. And then there is, for those of you who have a business or you're thinking of having a business, especially when you're spiritual, mm-hmm. and your focus is really, your spirit and you have a body. And so the business would be the expression of that. Mm-hmm. And then I can have a look at a sub-record, which is your business record, which is the sub-record of your personal record. Mm-hmm. And then it becomes really interesting because I can actually look, like for those of you who might think of having a business, is it a good idea? How does that work with who you are at soul level? Mm-hmm. But most of my clients have a business already and they want to up level, and they quite often have been with coaches already, but these coaches basically go, hey, here's the blueprint. It worked for me, so it has to work for everybody. Mm. But at soul level, it doesn't, because we are so individual.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And so in a business record, clients then come and say, hey, I want to up level from 5 to 10,000, say, a month. Mm-hmm. And then the first thing I look at is, well, is it even possible? Mm-hmm. And then, if yes, how probable is it? And I get a percentage. Mm-hmm. And then I can look very deeply, okay, so what needs to align mm-hmm. for that to happen? Is it sales? Is it marketing? Is it the offer? Is it the price? Like, what do we need to shift and change for that soul to get 10 grand? And it works. I have clients that could literally, in COVID times, quadrupled her income.
Wow, that's amazing.
Like I had, we have one more session left. So I had a client that I actually allowed to let go. I let her go in month 10 intentionally because she went from $3,000 a month. She's now at 30,000 a month and she wants to go to 50. And I've actually said, I'm not the right coach for you anymore because I haven't done it, nor do I even want to do it. So I can't hold the energy.
Yeah.
And she's now working with a friend of mine.
Oh, very nice.
But yeah, she's been in the UK all during COVID.
Wow, that's amazing. You know,
and she's a hero.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. That's hopeful for everyone who's listening. That's hopeful for me. You know, I feel like there's so much possibility in that. It sounded like when you were in the records that you're actually getting very specific information, like business advice. Yeah. Is it the marketing? Is it my product offering? Is it like it's very specific, like business coaching?
Completely. Yeah. We really go, like the business book is like, seriously, it's that thick. Yeah. And we're going into the nitty gritty, including is the timing off, is the price off, is video better than audio? Yeah, like what marketing strategies actually work for you at soul level.
Right.
And I'll give you an example. So say you are divine love as a one and only gift. Like in my system, you can have one or two gifts, and then if you have two, they have to be expressed in combination. Most have one. So say if you are divine love, for you to have an internet-based business will be very, very hard because you're not wired that way. So these people would be much happier creating a healing center or seeing people in person. Now, I know it can be very hard at the moment during COVID times, but I had a client who she didn't know that, right? So she spent literally $20,000 on a marketing funnel because, as most of us want, hey, let's make money in our sleep, right? Except the marketing funnel didn't work, no matter what they did with it. And then I had a look at her record, and she was or is divine love, and she needed to put videos, like she still even within the IT world, she needed to be in front of people. To a webinar, to video, and that's when it worked.
Oh, wow.
The whole automated sales funnel. No, because she's not geared that way, wired that way.
Right. Oh, that's amazing. That's just amazing. That's so powerful. And I just love that the information is so very specific. And so from what I understand, you start with a soul success blueprint, a soul profile, or a manifesting blueprint. And this is, like you're saying, the way you're wired, the gifts you come in with, your soul blueprint, like who you were in the beginning before all the other.
I'm putting every information that I have together. Yeah. And then, my puppy has woken up. I'm sorry. You can hear it.
He wants to join the conversation.
Right. Yeah, so we're working with all of that information, and then the Akashic is basically giving you really the nitty-gritty, and then of course it's the application of it. Yeah.
When someone is in this mode where they want to manifest something, that's what their intention is coming to you, and you run into a block or something that happens like that, what do you do with that? What are common blocks or hindrances, obstacles that you might run into and what do you do with them?
Yeah, look, the most common I see is fear of visibility. Yeah, because I also see that, basically the people that are healers, that are shamans, that are coaches, they were the ones who quite often were hanged, or, these were the witches basically burned at the stake. So it's not their first rodeo, so to speak. And so it's still in your body, that experience, in the cells of your body. Of, well, I'm different, I can't speak up, otherwise I will be killed. So the clearing, because it's 21 days, is really, really deep. So it will take care of most of it. That's my experience. Then with being visible, the non-sexy answer is you have to do it. Because, and I get it, like I was really bad, like a Facebook Live, I was just literally shitting myself, hated it. And also get a coach. Honestly, it's a shortcut. So I remember being in a mastermind once, and that's when it came up, and my coach basically said, look, do it now. I'm here. I'm supporting you. Yeah. And I managed like 2 minutes. But I did it. Do you know what I mean? It's like sometimes we can overcomplicate things by unnecessarily looking at healing, when the healing can actually happen by feel the fear, do it anyway. And that's when you get more comfortable and confident. Yeah. Confidence, you're not born with confidence. You earn it. Yeah. And you earn it by doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's healing in doing. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's another thing I want to address that's just coming in, because I see it with the really spiritual community, the idea that you have to be comfortable and happy all the time. Like when you have a business, you will have to do certain things you don't like till you have the money and you can outsource. Yeah, it's not all peace and love and flowers. Right?
Definitely. Even putting the summit together, there's just so much work, and this is one moment in time trying to run a business or launch a business. It's very difficult. There's a lot of grinding to do. But what's great is working in the Akashic Records, being able to feel more confident that at least the direction that I'm going in is in alignment with my records, is alignment with who I am. And I'm getting guidance that this is the right way to go. That'll definitely help, it'll give you a shot.
Completely. Like even, I forgot to mention, I do another reading, and that is, whatever people experience today, they write usually an email and say, well, and it could be totally unrelated. My boyfriend pisses me off, and the swimming pool pump is not working, and right, like it does. And then I can again look at, okay, where's the core issue? And quite often it's a past life, or it's a wrong way of thinking. And then again, I'm using clearing statements, and that helps a lot. And I'm also an energy healer, so I can I'll work with people energetically as well. So there are many ways of healing, but I think we can use needing to heal as a excuse to actually show up and do what you really want to do, or what your soul is prompting you to do. Fear is not a sign that it's not right, especially if it's coming with excitement.
What you just said was so powerful. I want to ask you to say that again. Could you say it a second time? That was so powerful.
So fear is not a sign that something is off, or that you shouldn't do something, especially if it comes with excitement. Because what happens is you get excited, And that is already the stretch, yeah? You're looking in the future. That is the being called forth.
Yeah.
The ego mind immediately will react with fear, because your ego mind has only one role, and that is to keep you alive and to keep the status quo.
Yeah.
So the ego mind doesn't like any change and feels majorly threatened. And then, the logic comes. I haven't got the time. I haven't got the money. What will my friends think?
Excuses. Yeah. Reasons why. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the part that you said right now about sometimes people might use, and myself included, not other people, but I have definitely done this, and that's why it's resonating with me. I've used healing as an excuse sometimes for not doing, because I'm in the fear of it. I'm finding out the information through a healing, and I need time to process that, and I need, and it becomes like I just go into this circle of like healing, processing, forgiving, like whatever that work is, kind of getting stuck in the loop of the work and not necessarily healing it, bringing it to completion, and then from that new place of learning, of being a little bit more empowered, now taking new action against that. Sometimes I might linger there a little bit longer than I have to. So that's powerful, like what you just said. That's incredible, to be able to see like, no, now I need to move forward with this, and take action. Yeah. That's powerful.
Yeah. I think in general that it's a really good question to ask yourself. Sometimes we might think we want something and then it's not really a good idea because it still came from the outside. Mm-hmm. But you will feel it in your body if you get excited. Mm-hmm. And you might not know how to do it. Mm-hmm. It's irrelevant. The how is irrelevant. Mm-hmm. And I think what we are asked to do, and that is where I see most people have real trouble with, is to jump into the unknown, to learn how to surrender to the impulse of your soul. Mm-hmm. And first of all, to recognize what is soul, what is ego. Mm-hmm. And then it's like learning to train a particular muscle, because it will be scary. It's like jumping off the cliff without a safety net.
Right.
Yeah, but I've experienced over and over again, and I've also seen it with my clients, when it's aligned, once you jump, that's when the miracle happens. That's when all the forces come together and you're being held.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
But you don't know that till you jump, right?
Yeah.
And then you learn, and then eventually, okay, I can jump. I know, I'm getting, I have a lot of fear. There must be something good at the other side. Yeah. Because here's the thing, the fear, I think, will never stop, no matter how much money you make, no matter who you are. Yeah. If you are asked to up level in some shape or form, there will be fear present.
Wow. Yeah. When you said that made that imagery of it's like jumping off of a cliff. I was thinking it's like jumping off of a cliff where you can't even walk up to the edge to look and see what's on the other side. You can't even like look and see. You can't tell whether or not there's something there to catch you, and still we're being called to jump. And then when you jump, then you realize like there's something here. There's another step after. I am being held. I am being in this space. So that's beautiful. Yeah. I'd love to hear your perspective. What do you think is the Akashic Records viewpoint on abundance and prosperity and manifesting? I think our listeners would love to know something like that.
Look, at soul level, seriously, even if you have a different experience at the moment, you are meant to be abundant. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There is enough for everybody.
Yeah. And that's how it's called in the records.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But what happens is I would say now we get brainwashed at birth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are actually brainwashed by believing there's scarcity, there's not enough, you're not good enough, you have to compete with other people. And it's literally not true.
Mm-hmm.
And so the journey is to get out of that paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the real work comes, yeah, if you're new to that work, because that's the important bit. We are all creators of our own experience.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the other thing, the development, what I see is, like we can say that mentally, and I watch people and they, when they created something pleasing, they go, look at me, I've created it, yay, it's working. But the responsibility also comes when you have created something that's not that pleasing. And that's where it takes a lot more responsibility to say, crap, well, I don't know how I created it, but I did. Yeah. I still need to take responsibility.
Right.
And then it's learning how to really tune into vibration. And vibration is not just how you think or how you feel, it's also who are you surrounding yourself with, your environment, what are you eating, what are you doing with your body. Mm-hmm. And the universe responds to vibration. Mm-hmm. It's literally like a Xerox machine. Whatever you put out will come back.
Right.
Yeah. And there's no favoritism. It's not that somebody else is super special and you're not. No. Mm-hmm. But you need to learn, how do you keep your vibration high? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And especially now, it's probably extra hard because most of the planet is in fear. And when you're in fear, not a high vibration, but it also stops your guidance to come through. Mm-hmm. If you're contracted, that you only hear the ego. Yeah. You can't get inspiration and guidance through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, this is why so many of our listeners are on this path looking and seeking. I think that that's a big part of it, is to continue to raise our vibration, continue to learn new tools and assets so that we can change our thinking, what we're holding inside of ourselves and our body, to forgive, and just continue to let all the things that we find out are untrue or unnecessary to fall away. And, working in the Akashic Records with someone like you just really helped to be a guide, to help clear those things out and to change our vibration. And so, yeah, thank you so much for that. I see that we're kind of coming near to the end of our time. Is there anything else that you would want to share with the audience?
Yeah, what I mean is, look, we are so much more powerful than we all believe.
Yeah.
And the game changer will be when you fully take on that you indeed are the creator of your own experience, meaning you need to take the first step. I see so many people waiting for a sign from the universe. Mm-hmm. It will, and then of course, when you want to find a sign, you will get one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's not how it works. You actually take the first step. Then the universe comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, your wish is my command. What do you want? But a lot of spiritual folks get this point wrong. They're waiting, so yeah, you're so much more powerful. Mm-hmm. And now is the time. I really believe with what's happening worldwide, it's really time now to live your purpose.
Yeah.
To know, to even, really, you switch on the news you don't know what to believe anymore. Yeah, or Facebook or whatever. Yeah, there's so many opposing views.
Yeah.
You need to learn, who are you and what do you believe? What do you believe is truth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. That's so beautiful.
Oh, so welcome.
Before we leave for today, I'm just so moved by what you said. But before we leave today, I know that you brought with you a free gift for our listeners. Will you tell us more about that?
Sure. Yeah, look, for me, the first step, I think, for everybody is to really learn guidance. How does your guidance come through? Because for everyone, it's different. Mm-hmm. And that is a training, or it's a PDF basically telling you what to look for. Who are you in relationship to guidance? Mm-hmm. And how can you deepen that relationship with yourself? Mm-hmm. Because I think, just imagine you're so connected. Like first of all, we all get guidance. We all do. We just stop it because of our mental ego mind. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But just imagine you are so connected, you just know, yes, no, wait, at any time. And with that, you also feel really safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't have to compete with anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, that's what I want to help people with, to trust your guidance. Right. You will get guidance. You always get guidance. It's just we don't sit still enough, or we don't, you don't necessarily have to sit, but we don't know how to listen or to recognize. Yes. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. So
I just want, I'm an idealist. I know that if we could just all live our purpose, yes, the world would be a better place.
Yeah. A peaceful, more loving place. So thank you so much, Shivany, for being here today and sharing your wisdom, sharing this incredibly generous gift. We're going to be sending out an email where you can find Shivany's gift, and also how to locate her and make a connection with her and follow up on finding more about her work that she does. It's so incredibly powerful. So thank you to all of our listeners who are here today. And there are so many more bits of wisdom to come in more interviews, so please check them all out. Shivany, thank you so much for being
here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then we'll see you next time, everyone.
Bye for now.
Bye.